David Raya, like all jokes aside now, David Raya is phenomenal. And that Arsenal defence, yet again, another clean sheet away from home. They are yet to concede a goal on their travels. Not the best of performances today by any stretch of the imagination from an attacking standpoint from Arsenal. But I said this on the football terrace, and I'm going to say this now. As long as Arsenal win all their home games and do not lose an away game, they will comfortably qualify for the next round of the Champions League. And David Raya, oh my God. Oh my God. This goalkeeper, as well as the two centre-backs that he has in front of him in Gabriel and Saliba, I would go as far to say right now, in world football right now, those three as a trio is the best trio in the world. You could argue now that Arsenal have the best centre-back pairing in the league. And when you finally get past those two, you've then got a wall in front of that goal line. He is phenomenal. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the good and the bad in this game. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. So many people watch this channel every single month and they're not subscribed. Around 81% of everyone who's watched the content in the last 28 days is not subscribed. So go down and hit that subscribe button. Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. Now, I know there's going to be a hell of a lot of Arsenal fans and rival fans giving them stick. I don't think it's a horrendous result tonight. We saw Manchester City at home play Inter Milan. They drew 0-0. No one's ripping Manchester City to shreds. The only thing that you could potentially criticise Arsenal for was the lack of clear-cut chances. And to be fair, Atalanta had their game plan. When you look at the match stats, I think Atalanta were happy to come away with a draw. No team, other than Atalanta's penalty, really created abundance of chances. As you can see by the match stats, 8 shots to 2, 54% to 46. Passing's practically even. Passing accuracy is even. Corners, 2 more corners. Fouls, yeah, I mean, no, 1 yellow card in the game. I thought it was an even game, but for whatever reason, teams just can't penetrate that defense from Arsenal. And the reason why they can't is because it's phenomenal. Clean sheet against Wolves, clean sheet against Spurs, clean sheet against Villa, clean sheet against Atalanta. They have conceded 1 goal in 5 games. The best defensive record of any team in the country now. They got Manchester City at the weekend. And I think one of the reasons why they may have gone with a bit more of a pragmatic approach tonight is because it's their first game in the Champions League. They're playing away from home. Of course, Atalanta playing at home against Arsenal. They're looking at that Manchester City side. And like I said, if you can go through the Champions League and win your home games, which I think Arsenal will quite easily win their home games. The only one that I think will be a huge test for them is PSG. But the Champions League home games, they've got Shakhtar Donetsk. I think they beat them relatively comfortable. Monaco, I think they beat them, albeit they beat Barcelona, but Barcelona had a man sent off. They beat Dynamo Zagreb. And the last game, I think, is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. PSG, Dynamo Zagreb, Shakhtar Donetsk. And I may be missing a game in there. And I think it's Inter Milan or Sporting is the other game. But we'll start with the positives. Gabriel, Saliba, David Raya, all very, 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 very good. I think tonight they missed Martin Odegaard massively. I think what they missed, I think, the most is he's so good at leading the press. He leads the press. His leadership on the pitch, that final killer ball. I think that the final pass in the attacks tonight wasn't the best for Arsenal. I don't want to say it's expected because I do think you can criticize them to a degree because of that. They didn't win the game, but at the end of the day, they have got one almighty game in 3 days' time. Manchester City played at home; they didn't get a win. The Champions League this year, more games, they come in thick and fast. Barcelona didn't win. Inter Milan obviously didn't win. PSG scraped it. It's the first test of a Champions League campaign. And for me, we need to give a lot of credit from Arsenal's defensive record in terms of their chances created. I don't think they created too much. I don't think Trossard and Havertz had the best game in terms of their link-up play. They obviously he made a lot of early substitutions, and I think the subs he made was the correct subs today for Mikel Arteta. Taking off Saka for Sterling when he did, taking off Timber for Calafiori when he did, taking off Partey early on, as well as Jesus, bringing on Trossard and Jorginho. Looking at that huge game on Sunday against Manchester City, because if they can come away with a clean sheet in that game and then get back onto a winning run of form, I don't think it's a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination. The first half it was like a game of chess. Arsenal had a couple of chances, Saka and Havertz, but it was a game of chess. Who's going to make the first move? Get into half time, and I thought we may see some early substitutions from Mikel Arteta. Early in the second half, Thomas Partey gives a penalty away. The Atalanta striker, completely got the better of him. So it might have even been Lookman got the better of him, and I think he was brought down. And then Rutegui stepped up. David Raya is a fantastic save. He ran over to the goalkeeping coach while there was all the VAR. Pretty smart, to be fair, from David Raya, while there was these VAR moments going on in the background. And then, of course, he, pulls off an absolute wonder save. It is a phenomenal save. You could criticize the striker because he's got the whole goal to aim at, but I'm going to give more credit to David Raya because he has to get off the floor, and that save genuinely is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. He gets off the ground, makes a double save, and I genuinely think that that goalkeeper is simply world class. And then throughout the rest of the game, I don't really feel there was that many clear-cut chances. I thought Saliba was excellent tonight. I thought Gabriel had a very good game. There was a tackle at the death, about the 88th, 89th minute. Saliba goes to ground. And if you're going to go to ground in and around the penalty area, you best believe you better be coming out with that ball, because there is no margin for error when it comes to these slide tackles. And it's... I thought it was a good challenge from him. In terms of Arsenal now, it's about that game on Sunday. Manchester City, of course, didn't score. They kept a clean sheet against Inter Milan. Inter Milan had quite a number of chances. Lots of people are going to come out and jump on the pylon for Arsenal tonight. I don't necessarily think, looking at that performance, looking at the way they played against Spurs. I put out a video earlier talking about Mikel Arteta's different approaches to games and talking about how they, away from home, they're always going to go with a pragmatic approach because the other team's expected to play out against you. Unless you're doing that against, the Leicesters away, the Southamptons away, the Evertons away, the Ipswiches, the Palace. I wouldn't be, if you look at Tottenham's approach yesterday, we didn't create any chances. We only had one shot until the 75th minute playing away to Coventry. Yes, we got the result, in the end, but we were bowed out by Brennan Johnson against the Championship side. Arsenal are going away to the Europa League champions who battered Liverpool at Anfield, playing with a pragmatic approach. And I didn't see anyone really criticising Atalanta then. Arsenal are going away to Italy, which is notoriously always a tough place to go. Liverpool were behind for 20 minutes against AC Milan. AC Milan had chances. It'd be interesting to see how teams get on away to Inter as well this year in the Champions League, as well as Juventus. Italy, always renowned for having very strong defenses, very hard to break down. And I guess you can criticise Arteta and the team saying, well, it's down to you to break them down. And yes, I understand that they didn't score tonight, but they come out of there with a clean sheet. And I think in terms of an attacking performance, I don't really think Arsenal did enough to score goals. But at the end of the day, they didn't lose the game. It's a first game away to a tough side in the Champions League who have got some European pedigree now because they've just won the Europa League. And it's all about building for Arsenal. They have to take the next 2 or 3 games really seriously and take their chances from an attacking standpoint. You're not going to get a lot of chances against Manchester City. You then bounce back. You put 3 or 4 goals against Bolton, 3 or 4 goals against Leicester. They've then got 4 games on the bounce at the Emirates. League Cup, Premier League, Champions League, and Southampton. They've just played 3 away games. They've got through the first 2, and now it's about the main event. It's the WrestleMania of the Premier League now. 2 of the biggest clubs going head-to-head. Like, I think, yes, you could say David De Gea. David De Gea? I just he's saying about David De Gea on the background on my laptop. David Raya saved them, but that's what he's there. He's there to save penalties, and he did his job. Overall, I think it was a good defensive performance by Arsenal. Their defense, genuinely at the moment, looks invincible. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.